afternoon. Here is the news at noon. First, the highlights. Legacy government vows to go tough on buildings without planning permits after amnesty window closes. Nigeria Labour Congress proposes sanctions for defaulting governors of a new minimum wage. And foreign in Philippines, United States launch annual joint military drills. And in sports, Athletics Federation of Nigeria assures of adequate preparation ahead Paris Olympic Games. And now the details. I am Mike James. The Legacy government has vowed to go tough on buildings without planning permits after the expiration of the current amnesty window, hoping to further ease the process. Commissioner of Fiscal Planning and Urban Development, Oluyinka Olumide, who made this known, enjoined owners of all existing buildings without planning permits in the state to take advantage of the amnesty initiative of the administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to regularize their buildings to comply with extant fiscal planning laws and avoid embarrassment. He reiterated that the 90-day amnesty program, starting from 2nd May to 30th July 2024, provide reliefs in the form of a waiver of penalties that usually go with cordoning off a building without approval, and a 5% discount on payments completed within 10 working days during the amnesty period. The Legacy government will commence the 2024 promotion exercise for officers on grade level 1 to 16 for officers and all parastatals, as well as officers on grade level 1 to 5 at the mainstream civil service under the revised structured training program. Permanent Secretary, Minister of Establishment and Training, Olubusola Abidakun, said the promotion exercise will commence on Monday, 29th April 2024 and end on Wednesday, 9th May 2024. Abidakun said the exercise will be held simultaneously at the Public Service Staff Development Center, Magodu, and the Women Development Center, Agege, Lagos. She explained that there will be a daily training session for officers on grade level 7 to 16, which will run from Monday to Friday except on Wednesday at the PSSDC Magodu. The Permanent Secretary urged eligible officers to obtain their revised structure training identification slips from the Director of Administration and Human Resources of their ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs, adding that it is a prerequisite for registration for the program. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission have engaged students of the University of Lagos, Akoka, on data protection. Lagos Zonal Commander of the EFCC, Michael Wetkas, said warned the students against compromising the security of their data, particularly their national identification number and bank verification number, urging them to remain vigilant against cyber criminals' tactics. And also speaking, Ezike Oyema, who represented the state zonal head of the ICPC, reiterated the importance of data protection, urging participants to exercise caution in their social media activities. The Nigerian Army headquarters has confirmed that 2 officers and 4 soldiers were killed by terrorists in an ambush in the Shuru local government area of Niger State. Director of Army Public Relations, Onyema Awachiku, said the troops were ambushed while on a fighting patrol to Karagat village. According to Awachiku, the troops from the 1 Division of the Nigerian Army were ambushed by terrorists last Friday, during which they fought gallantly and eliminated several of the terrorists, as well as captured some of their equipment. Meanwhile, the General Officer commanding 1 Division and Commander Operation Real Punch, Landers Saraso, said that troops are currently trailing some of the terrorists who fled after the encounter. He urged the people of Niger State to go about their legitimate and lawful activities, reassuring them that the Nigerian Army and other security agencies will ensure their protection at all times. And now to the rest of the stories. The Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has given a strong indication that it will press for the inclusion of a clause which will prescribe sanctions for governors and local government administrators who fail to implement the new minimum wage. The National Treasurer of the NLC, Hakeem Ambali, said the refusal of state governors to pay the current minimum wage is a result of a lack of punitive measures in the Minimum Wage Act of 2019. Ambali said a 37-member committee set up by the federal government will meet this week to debate reports submitted by various subcommittees from the 6 zones of the country. It will be recalled that President Bola Tinubu, through his Vice President Kashim Shettima, had on January 30 inaugurated a 37-member panel on the new minimum wage. The panel, with its membership cutting across federal and state government, the private sector, and organized labor, is to recommend a new national minimum wage for the country. And today is International Mother Earth Day. The day is an annual event on April 22 to demonstrate support for environmental protection. The theme for this year is Planet versus Plastics, which is clearly urging a call to action on oceans filled with plastics, which turns more acidic, extreme heat, wildfires, and floods that have affected millions of people. According to the United Nations, climate change, man-made changes to nature, as well as crimes that disrupt biodiversity, such as deforestation, land use change, intensified agriculture, and livestock production, or the growing illegal wildlife trade, can accelerate the speed of destruction of the planet. It also said restoring the damaged ecosystems will help to end poverty, combat climate change, and prevent mass extinction, urging everyone to play their part. And in some foreign news, thousands of Filipino and American troops have kicked off joint military exercises in the Philippines as Beijing's growing assertiveness in the region raises fears of a conflict. The annual drills, dubbed Balikatan, or shoulder to shoulder, in Tagalog, were concentrated in the northern and western parts of the nation, near the potential flashpoints of the South China Sea and Taiwan. China claims almost the entire waterway, a key route for international trade, and also considers self-ruled Taiwan to be part of its territory. In response to China's growing influence, the United States have been bolstering alliance with countries in the Asia-Pacific region, including the Philippines. Washington and Manila are treaty allies and have deepened their defense cooperation since Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos took office in 2022. And over to sports news, the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, AFN, says everything is on course for the country's athlete to be well prepared ahead of Paris 2024 Olympic Games. AFN Secretary General Rita Musindi explains that the clarification became necessary following rumors in some quarters that the Federation is not doing anything to ensure the country's athletes get to podium finish at the Games. Musindi says home-based athletes are currently camped and preparing for the World Relays in the Bahamas, which is scheduled for the 4th and 5th of May. She adds that the Sports Ministry understands the importance of attending the World Relays, going by the position occupied by Nigeria as amongst the 32 nations that have qualified for the relays in the Bahamas, hence the funding by the ministry. And that all our news at 12. But just before we go, please do not drive beyond specified speed limits. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X, Traffic Radio 961, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube, Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website, www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Solo administration trained 78 persons and placed 12 under the Talent Development Program, TDP, a student loan program aimed at training young persons in tech skills and placing them in employment? Well, you can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. And to end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. The Lagos State government has vowed to go tough on buildings without planning permits after the expiration of the current amnesty window, hoping to further ease the process. The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has given a strong indication that it will press for the inclusion of a clause which would prescribe sanctions for governors and local government administrators who fail to implement the new minimum wage. We also told you that thousands of Filipino and American troops have kicked off joint military exercises in the Philippines as Beijing's growing assertiveness in the region raises fears of a conflict. And in sports, the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, AFN, has confirmed that everything is on course for the country's athletes to be well prepared ahead of the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. And for contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. And that ends the news broadcast. It was compiled by Zainab Adibeshi. A very big thank you for listening, Lagos. My name is Mike James. Good afternoon.